be changing the oil and oil filter in our 2017 Kawasaki KLX110. You're going to need 2 quarts of 4-stroke engine oil. We used 10W40. And you're also going to need a Kawasaki oil filter, part number 52010-1053. You're going to need 8mm, 12mm, and 17mm socket, a ratchet, some safety glasses, and some latex gloves. First, you're going to want to start it and let it warm up for about 5 minutes. After it's warmed up, you got to take the skid plate off. There are 2 8mm bolts in the front and 2 12mm bolts in the back. This is a 17mm drain bolt. We'll start with that. You're going to want to put some rags and a drain pan underneath and then crack it loose. And if it falls in, try to catch it before it falls in, or else it'll end up inside the thing. Ew! That's gross. Ugh. Sit there. Ew, that's gross. That's gross. Let it drain down. While the oil is draining, take off the oil cap. Be careful not to lose the O-ring. The oil filter is located right here. There's 2 8mm bolts on it. You're going to need to take those off. But before you take those off, you're going to want to move this tube out of the way. And then you're going to want to move this oil thing, or else you might have a puddle of oil. Now you're going to move this back here, and let's just stick it there. Now we're going to take these bolts out. Then this one. Make sure your ratchet doesn't fall in the oil, or else it'll be hard. You might want to put your hand underneath so it doesn't fall off into the oil. Or you're going to have to go digging. It's starting to leak a little bit. And the oil will come out of here too. Whoa. It's leaking. So, got to let it drain. You may want to push on the canister so it doesn't leak as much. Continue to let it off. This is a little bit more difficult than it looks. So okay. And now that it's off. Notice how the O-ring is facing up. That's how you'll want your new filter to go in. Also notice the dirt on the sides. We're going to need to clean that off because it's a little nasty. Also, notice the spring inside. We clean the inside and the spring with carb cleaner. Make sure you don't get carb cleaner on the O-ring. It'll make it expand. Be gentle with the O-ring. Put it back in its groove. And then put the oil filter in. Make sure this thing is pointing up. When you put the filter and cover back on, it's important to make sure that the filter lines up correctly and the O-ring on the cover stays in its place. This was pretty difficult, so I had my dad help me with it. Now it's time to put the drain bolt back in. Don't forget your washer. And make sure you put it in straight. And then you're going to use your 17mm bolt or socket and tighten it.
That's good.
Now it's time to put the oil in. This is the view window. See these two lines? The oil height needs to be in between those two lines. I'm going to take the O-ring off so it doesn't fall in. The Kawasaki manual says we need 1.1 quarts of oil in it. So first, we're going to put 1 quart in. It's okay if some comes out. You want to try to get most of it in though. Now we're going to put the cap on. After putting a quart in, you can see that the oil is almost to the middle of those two lines. But when you get it started up, it'll use some of the oil to go to the filter. You're going to want to start it up for about 1 minute. Make sure you're not in a closed garage. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation. After idling from about 30 seconds to a minute, you can see that the oil level has went down a little bit. We're going to need to top that off. We're going to top this off by taking off the cap and pouring the oil until it's where we need it to be. My dad's going to do this so we don't have to do it over again. That looks good. Now let's put the cap back on. Make sure it's on straight. Now it's time to put the tube back. The easiest way to do this is to put it right in front of where it needs to go and then push it in. Now we need to put on the skid plate. Now it's time to put the skid plate back in. I'm going to put this screw in first, but you can put any screw. We're going to leave these two screws finger tight so we can put the back ones in. Now we're going to tighten them with a wrench. The front ones are 8mm and the back ones are 12. After that, start the bike. Let it idle for a minute or so. Check for leaks. If there are none, then you're finished. And that is how you change the oil in a 2017 Kawasaki KLX110. Please remember to dispose your oil properly. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. Today we will be changing the oil and the oil filter in our KS.
Your gloves are kind of big.
You're going to want to start it out for about 1 minute to let the oil get to the filter.
Dang Kawasaki's.
After that, start the bike and let it go idle.